Hello there, everybody. My name is Pinkshire, back with another episode of Planet Crafter. We got rain last time, and I built this thing. This amazing, utterly stunning beauty of a machine here that will allow me to launch rockets into space. I just need the materials to do it. As you can see, we're at 1.07 million terraformation index. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and gather more materials, build more stuff, focus on trying to clear this out before it floods. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now, a little congested with the temperature change that I'm going through and all. Nothing too bad, but a little bit annoying, all things considered. So, I was talking about the last episode I was talking about a few different things, really, but chiefly video games and how I feel they perform as an art form, and my general opinions on things as art forms. So, and those are ultimately subjective opinions, but I do believe that they do exist. They have to. Otherwise, you run into all sorts of different issues. And I do consider writing to be art. I consider drawing pencils to be art. I be drawing crayons to be art. I believe anything that allows you a creative expression of identity, of yourself, of your personality, that's art. That's what that is. Did I get another message again? No, I learned the last one. Okay, cool. Good. I think I was going to go exploring somewhere, wasn't I? I should go do that. Yeah, I have water. It's okay. I'll make another one. Yeah, I'll make another locker upstairs. There. I think it's about time to pick a direction to go in, though. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little sniffly. I'll try to cut out a bit of the times I blow my nose, though. So I've been there. I went in that general direction, but I didn't make it there. Let's go see. I could go clear, but there's the cliff's faces here, which would be interesting, right? I think I'll head towards the big downshift in the desert. That looks interesting. Hold on, what do I need for emergency? Iron, titanium. Iron, titanium, silicone. So, yoink. Yoink. Now I just need 2 titaniums. And I'll be good to go. That looks like a sandstorm. That's cool. I thought I said... Did I set the base up in there? I probably did. Yeah, I did. Oh well. I think I'll set one up wherever I can get into that ship. For ease of access. As it were. This should be another place we'll have to clear out soon, won't it be? There's some ice up there? That's interesting. I wonder what's over there. So yeah, I talked about how I feel about these different art forms. And I do sincerely believe that they are art forms. That's the truth about it. Got that. That's fairly valuable to me. As is that. Let's kind of see where else I can get to go with it. Okay. So, stage plays art forms. Videos and such I consider to be a similar art form to TV shows, and plays and such. Plays to a little lesser extent, unless you're counting musicals, but those are a different art form entirely. But one of my big things that I like to focus on, I know I'm going the wrong direction. It's there. I know. But, like, what's up here? I mentioned early on that I get easily distracted. I want to know things. There's a suspicious lack of resources up here. I think that might be intentional. I want to know if there's a place where I can actually find uranium. Oh, it's transitioned back to rock. Look at that. This might be a good place to set up a forward base in terms of avoiding the water. Look at that. Let's try to say hi. Arches? Because that is the thing that's going to happen, is there's going to be water. I should keep my eye out for the golden chests, too. Those are important. Ooh, where are you? Grab you. Grab you, grab you. This is a bigger map than I thought it was. Jeez. I guess that's higher ground. It might be a good idea to do that. Looking for a new base location is a good idea. And exploring the surface of a planet. It's interesting to see before and afters of such things. So, yeah. Really should build myself a jetpack, though. That would make the speed much faster. See? That's interesting. Because that implies that there is some sort of intelligent life to stack rocks on top of each other. At least that's the way they look. There are sculptures like those up in Canada. So, they're very interesting. Kind of pretty, but like you're not supposed to touch them also. Because of the nature of them. Whoa. Cool. Huh. I wonder what's down there. That's a cool looking place. I'll have to go there soon. Okay. Give me oxygen. I love space and I love nature. I don't normally prefer the more barren parts of nature, but this is interesting. I love it. And that's the thing I kind of do with any game, is that a lot of it is technically handcrafted, but a lot of it's just generated automatically, and then they craft it from that. So everything is touched and made by people, but it's not always intentional. Not the way like a cartoon is. A cartoon is almost entirely intentional in the way it's designed, especially hand-drawn. There are little bits and bobs that the animators and such slip in that some people don't even notice. But I love that attention to detail that things get. They make those things so much better. Just at the base level. So, you technically have to stop and consider, like, hey, is this intentional? If it is, if it isn't, That's almost the creator determines that, but yeah. Oh, there's a cave here. 50 UK. Okay. Fine, I guess. Back out I go. I'm just kind of exploring. I want to see things. Because it's interesting. I want to appreciate this world that has been created for me to explore. And that's what games are for. The games are for enjoyment. You get in, you enjoy yourself. That's why I only tend to play games that I like. Because ultimately, that's why I play games. To enjoy myself. I hope that's why everybody plays games. Because that is their purpose. Now, some people have managed to turn that purpose and use their enjoyment and make games into something that they live off of. And kudos. That's great. I'm really happy for you. Truly, I am. It's a great thing to be able to do the things you love and make a living off of it. Not everyone's able to. And that's also fine. Not everyone has to. Pardon me. But also be kind. Be nice. Don't ruin things for other people just because they enjoy them. But that's a deeper political discussion, and some people generally enjoy that. I don't understand why. Really. Okay, I'll drink one of these. Drink. Yes, I'll definitely drink my oxygen. Great idea. Great idea, Pig. It is. The best thing to do is to drink your oxygen. What's going on here? Is this a giant shipping capsule? Oh, there's a T3 heater somewhere. That's interesting. Spacesuits. Oh. Oh. Those. Oh, I'll come back for those later. With a bigger inventory. Or more space, at least. Okay. Interesting. Because those will be useful to have. I'll just need more power, too. Whoa. Those railguns? That's cool. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So, yeah. Yeah, I do truly believe that people should be allowed to enjoy themselves. Oh. Those are useful. That is the express purpose of games. Games are made to entertain. Games are made to tell stories, and you're not always going to like those stories. That's entirely okay. You don't have to like those stories. There's nothing telling you that you have to. But know that people are. Some people are going to adore those stories. And you're not going to understand why in the slightest. Simply because it appeals to them. Big valuable things in here. Look at those. Big money. Big money. Okay, let's go explore somewhere else. Oh, hello. Oh, I switched the thing. Ooh. Nothing terribly valuable. Okay, we'll have to come back here later. Won't I? Ooh, at nighttime. Ah, that's so cool though. I love the blue sky. Okay. Let's see if I can't find a place to pick up some uranium. Because that'll be useful to know where that is. Yeah, I would have made it back there. If I could return to some earlier thoughts, the Legend of Zelda series. I love it. I adore it. I have spent probably far too much of my life thinking about it, honestly. I have deep, deep thoughts about it. One thing I kind of wanted to explore is how the timeline works in Zelda, which, for those of you who don't know, the Legend of Zelda series is an puzzle adventure series. It's hard to kind of categorize it. It almost defines its own category of games. There are a myriad of games that can be referred to as Zelda-likes. So, it with a grain of salt. Just take it with a grain of salt. People who like Zelda tend to love Zelda because of the quality of the games and the way they are made. And I love Zelda. It's a defining game series for me. And there's a few reasons why I'm not beginning my channel with it. I didn't want to. I enjoy other games. I'm not just a Zelda guy. But when it comes to talking about video games, I will talk about the Legend of Zelda. But the timeline, that idea that every single Zelda game is interconnected, and they are, we see that definitively in the way in which they are treated. But they are loosely connected in a connective tissue. They are not expressly connected. There are a handful of direct sequels across probably, I think it's 19 different games, depending on which ones you count. It's probably, I think it's over 20, depending on if you count affiliate games or not, or spin-off games, and which you consider spin-offs. Triforce Heroes, for example, Four Swords Adventure. They're not distinctly Zelda, but they do bear the Zelda name, and they bear Zelda themes, and they bear these different things. And that's not a determination for me to make if they are Zelda or not, but there's upwards of 20 games at this point in time, realistically. Hey, I'm not even sure that I would count Echoes of Wisdom as a Zelda game, strictly speaking. It does. It is quite possibly the only Zelda game, because it's the only game where you get to play as Zelda. But what are you? Can be destroyed with explosives. Interesting. Well, you're gonna get a base set up by you. I need blowy uppies. Something to blow it up with. But they all exist in this loosely interconnected world, where they have tiebacks to lore, or they expand upon each other's lore, they completely ignore each other's lore. It's a bit of a mess most of the time, which can be annoying. That's interesting. What's going on there? So, if we want to start with this, I have to establish the things. In 2010, with the release of Skyward Sword, Nintendo released the Hyrule Historia, which provided... What are you? Pulsar quartz. That sounds like it's highly valuable. On the Pulsar quartz to separate the Rainbow Caves. Oh, it's raining. Look at that. Well, I guess I know where Pulsar quartz is now. I don't know what to use it for, though. That's interesting. Oh, I might pick up a few. What are you? Magnetar quartz. That sounds like it would also be useful. I don't have enough space. That's a lot of heat. Must be really cold in this cave. Where am I? But that's not what I wanted. I want to find what will allow me to make the ore extractor osmium. Man. Oh wait. Let me wait a little while longer. Well, I will have to turn around pretty soon. So, yeah. They're all based. Like, a lot of the games have their MacGuffin be the same thing, which is the Triforce. This thing of absolute power. Which it wasn't always absolute power. It was just something that was an artifact that gave a wish, or did this, or did that, and evolved over the game series. And there's nothing wrong with it evolving, but it kind of violates its own lore sometimes. So, currently speaking, the Triforce stands as the ultimate MacGuffin of the Legend of Zelda series. Anyone who holds it holds essentially infinite power. It was left over from the beginning. Boop. Which is very confusing to really consider. The three golden goddesses created it. Now, what this means expressly is that it was made by the creation deities of Hyrule, of the Zelda universe. It was made by the creation deities of the Zelda universe, period. Let's go back now. If I can find my way back. This is going to be an interesting journey. And I'll ramble about Zelda the entire way. So we get the creation myth in Ocarina of Time about Hyrule, about how Hyrule was created and what the Triforce is. Because when Ocarina of Time was released, it was meant to serve as the prequel to A Link to the Past and set up part of the reasoning for why that world is the way it is. But if you know anything about Ocarina of Time, that game has a victory ending. Victorious. It's a little bittersweet. Spoilers for a game that came out in 1999. The end of the game basically covers that Zelda decides that she knows best and sends Link back in time. That's a giant railgun. Sends Link back in time to relive his childhood that he lost because of her choices, which is noble, but is like severely messed up when you really consider it. Link sacrificed his childhood and went through countless hardships, went through so much trauma, and he gets recognized for none of it. He has to mature, he has to grow up. And that's the general message of Ocarina of Time, is growing up. And it's a beautiful, beautiful game. It's a beautiful, beautiful message. Man, is it a little frustrating with the ways the characters act. And it's completely in character. So you're genuinely frustrated, not at the fact that the story doesn't make sense. You're frustrated at the fact that you feel for this. You're like, oh, that hurts. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Why? Almost went past it. That's not good. And so you're left to consider this. And at the end of the game, it's kind of left ambiguous. And The Legend of Zelda also deals with time travel a lot. Like, an inordinate amount. And it is wildly inconsistent. But the main contention point of the timeline originates from Ocarina of Time. There are 3 timelines that split off from the Ocarina of Time. Before that is a unified timeline. From the Skyward Sword, which is the origin of the cycle and why these things happen, and the Master Sword and such, to Ocarina of Time is a single unified timeline of events. Officially. Now, Ocarina of Time splits into 3. 2 of which make sense. 1 of which we don't have a canon example or reason for. So, the end of the Ocarina of Time, Princess Zelda sends Link back into his 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 11-year-old body. We don't really know, but somewhere in that range. and sends him back to enjoy his childhood. Right? Simple. Selfless, noble, so on and so forth. But what this does is Link goes back and he prevents the events of the game of Ocarina of Time. He warns Zelda about Ganon. Doesn't open the Sacred Realm. Ganon never gets the Triforce. Wish is never made. But if he does that, how does he have the experience and know these things for the future? You open a paradox. To resolve a paradox, you have one where he does get sent back in time. That future does still happen. The future does still exist, and he gets sent back in time. And then you have the child timeline. The adult timeline is where the events of Ocarina of Time happen. The child timeline is where the events of Ocarina of Time don't really happen. They happen differently. It leads directly into Twilight Princess. Now, there's a little note there about how some things are handled in that, and I have my own personal gripes about it. But that's neither here nor there, really. One of the things I think is a consequence of it. So the Triforce in the end of Ocarina of Time is split into 3 parts. It's 3 constituent parts. It's made out of 3 golden triangles, one representing each of the golden goddesses: power, wisdom, and courage. Depending on who you ask, these exemplify their respective attributes. It really, really depends on who you ask, though. So, and together they form what is generally considered to be the absolute power to make any wish, as long as your will is strong enough. What'd I get? T2 torch. Nice. Is that made in here? Yes. Sulfur. Don't know where I get that. Great. Awesome. Don't have access to that. Water bottle, super ally. Let's make this. Let's see what I need for it. Oh, nice. This is straight. Awesome. That's a good amount of power. And so, the child timeline, the events of Ocarina of Time don't happen. The adult timeline, the events of Ocarina of Time do happen. The third timeline, the downfall timeline, is where Ganondorf wins and Link dies, specifically. And this is a cause for us to contention because we never see Link die. Is it just at any point in Ocarina of Time does it spawn a new timeline? Where is that? What is it done? I have a friend who has been trying to answer that question for a long time in the thick of his. But he, some things came up in his life. So. Yep. He's a really, really good writer. But he is very discouraged. Not my business. Ultimately. So we don't know how the downfall timeline happens, but every other game that doesn't take place between Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time takes place in one of those 3 branches, except for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo has set those off to the side on their own. Why? Because they don't fit anywhere, really. Like, that's the genuine answer. Personally, I have it placed in a 4th timeline, a split that occurs because of the events of Skyward Sword, which I will get into in the next video. Sorry. I rambled on too long about the history of the Zelda series. I could do that a lot. I have a lot of information in my head about that. Anyways, as you can see, we're finishing off at 169. Oh, 170. Look at that. What's this? What are we looking for? Liquid water? Oh, just short of 40% of the way there. Awesome. So, next time I'll go exploring some more. I'll probably build some stuff because I got all this aluminum that I need to use. Pardon me. And we'll keep working on that terraformation index. Anyways, thank all you. Please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.